hoping to land on the answer.
I'm getting the feeling that making a flying machine is a very complicated process.
There's no doubt about that.
Tassi tells me this raw metal goes through 30 people whose job is to cut and shape and drill it into thousands of parts. I'm gonna blaze right through those 30 people so we can get to building that helicopter.
This is the clutch housing. It started with a big solid piece of metal, got to this point now where I'm machining the final, the 3 bores.
Before, after. Looking for water jetting? Sir, is this the water jet machine?
Yes.
Then you're number 10. One of the new technologies they use here at Robinson is water jetting, where they cut huge slabs of metal using high pressure water and sand. So you take like a sheet of metal, like that.
Yes.
And you turn it into stuff like that and that and that.
2 separate machines, 2 separate pieces of material. It's a perfect fit.
This is for the...
Yeah, the blade.
"32 people to cut, mill, lay, shape, sand, drill, weld, and inspect all the critical parts that go into one R-44 helicopter. Now, 5 people dip and spray the thousands of parts with a coating to protect them from corrosion. Then these parts are going to be assembled to create components for the helicopter. That's what's known as subassembly, and of course it takes place way at the other end of this crazy long building. So I'm going to see if I can't get a ride with number 39, the Expediter.
All right, looking for an Expediter. Oh, someone going quickly with a fuel tank. You must be an Expediter. Sir, are you an Expediter?
Yes, I am.
You're 39. This is the life of an Expediter is a good one.
Yes, it is.
Are we getting close to subassembly?
Yes, we are.
Excellent.
Here you are.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for getting me here so expeditiously.
All right.
Get back to work, Jason.
Yep, we'll do. Take
All
care.
right. This is a huge department. This guy looks like my old science teacher, so I'm gonna go say hello. Excuse me, sir? Is this subassembly?
Yes.
Hi there. What's your name?
Michael.
Michael? You're 40? I can probably lose these, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what is subassembly?
Subassembly is all the small parts that go into the larger parts. We have over 300 subassemblies that we do just in this area.
Raw materials come into Robinson and are machined into moving parts, which the subassemblers turn into the components that are necessary to make a helicopter. Like the fuel tank, the gearbox, and the spindle for the rotor.
This is what gives it the movement to the main rotor blades.
Do you always work on this part? Do you get a whole bunch of different parts?
Mostly in this part, but I do some other parts too.
What's your favorite?
Mostly this one, because I do this all the time.
This is like a reflection of you?
Yes.
8 people will create the components that go into the larger structure of the helicopter. So let's see how it all comes together in tail cone and cabin assembly.
All right. That is what I'm talking about. Here's your cabins.
Yes, it is.
All right, I need some help. I am trying to watch a R-44 helicopter get made from raw materials to final helicopter. We're finally up to cabin assembly. Who should I talk to?
I'm the guy.
You're number 48.
Yes, sir.
Inspector Joe introduces me to the 10 men who put together the R-44's cabin. These guys assemble the firewall, the front and rear seats, the roof, and the chin.
Good looking chin. Strong chin.
Before it's ready to be tightened up.
It's the final stage. Hello, gentlemen.
How's it going?
What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel, you're number 59.
Adrian.
Adrian, you're 60. What are you doing here?
We're locking up the belly. We're gonna cut down the chin right here and bring everything in so it's nice and tight and get rid of that rattling noise.
Okay.
Now that the head of the copter is assembled, it's time to move to the tail. The tail cone, that is.
Excuse me. You guys are in tail cone? Yeah. Excellent. I think you're, Brian?
Yeah, Brian.
You're 61.
Jesus.
You're number 62. All right, what are you doing here?
All right, so this is a tail cone. Any navigation is installed on the tail cone.
Brian and Jesus shape the tail cone. Then they install rubber grommets, so all the wiring system, like for lights and antenna, can string along the tail.
So we're seeing sort of the various stages of tail cone development here.
Yes.
Right? Who inspects it?
We got Mike over there, the inspector, inspecting right now.
Say hi. Gentlemen,
Nice
good to meet you.
All right.
Mike?
All right, so
Inspector Mike? What are you doing here?
At this stage, what we do is we check for any imperfections or errors that the mechanic makes.
Yep.
And everything's structural to match the blueprint.
How are you with the constant riveting?
Huh?
How are you with the noise of the constant riveting?
Over time, you get used to it.
Okay.
When I first got here, it was kind of annoying, but I'm used to it now.
It's like cicadas in the summertime.
When the tail cone is built and wired, it's time for the main tail cone assembly.
I saw the tail cone get sort of made earlier. I guess that was sub-assembly. What do you do that's different?
Actually, what I do, I take the bare tail cone and I install all these components on here. I install these antennas, all the antenna wiring, that strobe light you see right there.
Yep.
In the back, there's the tail rotor gearbox, and inside's the tail rotor drive shaft, which is right here. This is going in there.
What does a drive shaft do?
This actually turns the prop in the back.
Oh, really?
This is what it does.
Okay, so that's an important thing.
That's very important.
It's a key part, right?
Very key.
Kind of needed to go.
Yes.
The tail cone is full of navigation wiring that tells the helicopter to go up, down, left, right, etc. But who does all that wiring? That's who I gotta find next.
Okay, so this is all the electrical for a helicopter. Okay, this is like a light bright. In order to put together the electrical system for a helicopter, they put a map for it on a wall and basically just build the electrical system on top of it, like it's a puzzle. And then the whole thing as a whole gets put into the helicopter?
Another electrical component of the R-44 is the console.
Ma'am, is that a dashboard?
Yeah, it's a console.
It's a console.
R44 console.
Okay, we'll take it. What's your name?
Tony.
Tony?
Hi.
Dave?
Hi.
You are 60 ticks.
Oh, thank you.
So we're putting the screws in.
Once we have all the lights going,
Right.
then we check for the clutch, warning lights.
Does that mean there's carbon monoxide leaking in this?
Yes, if it comes on, that's now not right now,
Not
but
right
that's
now,
just
okay,
a
good.
tester.
Phew, scared me to death.
The R-44 helicopter gets the king of all engines, a Rolls-Royce. It's specially adapted by Robinson and placed between the main cabin and the tail cone by two guys.
So this is the landing gear?
This is the liner.
What does it
That
do?
goes inside the tube to hold the struts. The struts are these things right here. So,
And the struts attach the landing gear to the helicopter itself?
correct.
Starting to catch
Struts go
on.
like this.
Yep.
Hooks up. It's up like that. And then
Landing gear, helicopter.
helicopter. Correct.
All right.
So hold the helicopter.
So this is where it all comes together. The main cabin assembly. That's where they add stuff like the engine, the electrical harness, and the tail cone.
Such attention to detail is paid here at Robinson that every letter on every switch is made in-house. All the upholstery in every helicopter is done in-house. Sir, are you in silk screening?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Jesus.
Jesus?
Jesus Juarez, yes.
You're 77. So what are you making right here?
That's a lucky number. Right now, we're working on the circuit breakers.
So every title on every switch you actually do in-house.
Yeah, all of them here.
So now I've seen a lot. I've seen raw metal forged into parts. I've seen wiring go from the dash through significant parts of the body. I've seen the body go from a T-bar on the ground into a rounded cabin and long tail cone. So what's left? Well, now it's time to paint the copter and put on the blades.
Sir? Am I in the paint shop?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Dave. How are you?
Good, nice meeting you.
You're number 78.
Oh, okay.
So you're sealing it up,
We're sealing it up. We're sealing the whole cabin,
right?
inside and outside. After this, it goes to paint.
After the helicopter is sealed, 4 more guys prep it before it's sent to be painted.
So what has to happen before this gets painted?
It comes out of the primer booth, and then we bring it over here, check it for dents, high spots, any flaws in the paint or the primer, and then tape it all up, mask it up, and then we put it in the paint booth.
You guys have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Every Robinson R-44 helicopter is made to order for the low, low price of $400,000. Yours could come in a variety of colors and stripes.
Now, one thing I can't see, no matter how much I beg and whine, I cannot see them make the actual helicopter blades. That's kind of Robinson's secret recipe around here, is how they make their blades.
What I do know is that it takes 4 people to make them, so they are number 83, 84, 85, and 86.
Didn't get to see the rotors getting made, but I can see them getting balanced. Sir, are you in balancing?
Yes, sir.
Finally saw one of these top secret blades, and the guy who's in charge of balancing it is one of these sleeve tattoo punk rock guys with a master's degree.
I'm doing the static balance of the main rotor blades. We sit over here with the bubble level and we add weights on whatever side to make sure it's leveled. Making sure all this is intact and safe for a pilot to run it up.
Yeah, if these things are off balance.
Yeah, you're going to be getting a bunch of vibration, and pilots will freak out.
Can't have it.
Can't have it.
Now, everybody is familiar with the trademark whoop whoop sound of a helicopter rotor, but unfortunately, so are sharks. Sharks are very attracted to this low frequency noise, and in fact, they have been known to swim right up and bite stranded swimmers just at the moment they're about to be rescued by a helicopter. So, if you're a helicopter owner, I would just like to ask that you stay away from us swimmers and surfers. Could you do that?
So this is getting ready to get put on the main body, right? And then it becomes a helicopter.
Yeah.
Nice. Final assembly. Is this final assembly?
Yes.
So what do you guys do?
We are mechanics, and right now we are rigging the ship.
So you put on the rotors that make it fly, that make it a helicopter.
Yeah.
Have you been up in the air together?
No.
Have you any desire to be up in the air together?
No.
Can you get me up into the air?
How many people to build a helicopter? I've met 91 and I'm still flying through this enormous factory.
So I've seen all the parts, I've seen them all get put together, I've seen them all get painted, but I'm dying to fly in one of these things. I really am.
Now our R-44 is almost ready for its test flight. But first, 2 more people give it a final detail from nose to tail.
There she is. R-44 looking beautiful. Hey there.
Hi.
My name's Dave. What's yours?
Tony.
Tony. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Chris, nice to meet you, Dave.
Chris, I'm going to call you 94. You're 95. Tony, what do you do?
Well, I check out the aircraft before it flies to make sure everything's in order. And then Chris here, the pilot, takes off, and then he does his in-flight checks and things like that to get it ready for the customer.
I see. So you sort of kick the tires, so to speak.
Pretty much.
You take it out for a test drive.
I light the fires, if you will.
You light the fires, and I will. Every helicopter here at Robinson goes through 4 hours of training. Not all at once. They'll take it out, they'll bring it back, they'll do some tweaking, they'll put some weight in the nose, maybe a passenger in the passenger seat. I think I might have found my angle for my free ride. Will you take me up in the air with you?
We can do that. I'll take you up today, for
Are you
sure.
serious?
Yeah, for sure.
Where do I go? What do I do?
Get your seatbelt.
Of course. All right, never been in a helicopter in my life.
Oh,
that's right. Yep. Got to go up and hover about 5 feet over the ground for a little while. They call it taxiing. Oh, yeah. After a few minutes of taxiing, we shot right up into the air. Oh, my goodness. Chris did a whole bunch of tests to make sure the steering works out right, that the tail rotor is spinning the way that it should, that the helicopter is moving exactly the way that he wants it to.
Let's land on some rich person's roof. I mean, you would lose your job, but it'd be worth it, right?
No. It was absolutely a dream ride. And Chris is not afraid of doing some diving turns.
Oh! Are you kidding me? This used to be a nude beach right here, but you kept flying slowly past it?
Yeah.
And now nobody comes here anymore? So this is your job.
It's my job.
Chris, you win at life.
All right, so we're taking her back in. Hard right. After Chris and Tony determined that the R-44 is safe and smooth enough to live up to the Robinson name, 2 more people give it a final buff, clean, and polish. And now our baby is ready for its rightful owner. But first, somebody's got to sell it to him. Excuse me, sir.